Hey there, folks. I'm Isaac, and I'm questing to become the Elden Lord.
And I'm Claire, and I cannot be bothered to complete the Pokédex.
And this is Make
Make
That
that
Game!
game where we pitch the latest
And greatest.
new video game ideas.
That will never actually get made. As you may have noticed from my opening little spiel there, that Elden Lord thing, the latest game that I've been playing is Elden Ring, the hottest, most popular, most long-awaited video game of 2022. Surely you, Claire, have heard of it, Elden Ring.
No, and actually,
The Elden Ring.
even though I've seen you play it, I didn't. I don't think I actually knew what the name of the game was.
Elden Ring. Yeah, no, it's the newest, greatest. Everybody's playing it. It's the game. It's the game of the season. Long awaited.
Wow, long
Actually,
awaited.
so it's actually long awaited enough where it kind of became a meme of people waiting for it to be released. So, okay.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of Dark Souls?
Yes, just the title though.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know if I know
So
what it's like.
Dark Souls is a very popular game known for being pretty difficult. And Elden Ring is like the next in the Dark Souls line, so it's made by the same director.
Mhm.
And Elden Ring is also it's a collaboration with George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame.
Mm.
And I don't know how that actually goes, and it's going to be really funny when people at me and say, "No, no, 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 no. The George R.R. Martin game is actually a different game," because I did not bother to confirm my understanding before we recorded. So, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But anyways, I've been playing Elden Ring. It does it live up to the hype? We'll talk about that in our honks and bonks. See that little
Yeah,
that setting
yeah.
it up for later. But it's pretty fun. Pretty good. I guess I'll do the deep dive. I've wasted enough times setting this up, so I'm gonna ask you
Mhm.
what you've been gaming.
Yeah, so I've still been playing Pokemon Legends of Arceus. I think that's the title. I think we finally got there. Just a little bit, not too much this week. And I did start, like, literally, I think I played like maybe 15 minutes, but I did start Chicory, this new cute little game. Kind of, it reminds me of, what did I say? Like MS Paint meets, oh no, Kid Pix, not MS Paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kid Pix meets Animal Crossing is kind of like the vibes. And there'll be more to
Okay.
report back on once I get deeper into the game. I'm not super far right now, but I will say I'm already stuck, so this is not boding great.
Ooh,
But
15 minutes in and you're stuck. Okay.
at least I can color that, so there's that.
So how'd you find Chicory? How'd this one jump out to you?
Oh, yeah. So this is actually a recommendation from one of our listeners. So just to show, if you want to write into make that game podcast at gmail.com and suggest games for us to try or ideas you might have, we'll be more than willing to try those out
That's at Make That Game Pod on
on t-
twitter.com
and Instagram.
and Instagram, and we've got an email.
Make that game podcast at gmail.com.
Quickly moving on from that,
Yeah. So,
honks and bonk. Oh wait, no, you've got
oh,
more.
no, I was just going to ask you what you were going to honk and bonk.
Oh well, I beat you to it. Honk and bonk me or for
Okay.
me.
Yeah. So actually, what I'm going to honk and bonk today is Just Dance 2021. So
Oh, interesting pick.
I need to go through a little background first. So I actually just started with Just Dance 2, which had to have been in like 2007, I want to say, like that era, on the Wii.
Wait, hold on. You started with Just Dance 2 and they're already up to 2022?
Yeah, so that's something I'm going to talk about because I don't really
That's 2000
understand.
versions of
um,
the game.
so I'm going to talk a little about just like the game in general, like Just Dance as a whole, as well as Just Dance 2021, because I have feelings about all of it.
Oh, sorry,
But
2021. I said 2022. That's the
yeah,
current year.
I
Yeah,
mean,
sorry.
technically, I think they do have a 2022 one,
Ah, jeez.
but I don't know. I haven't looked into that. So yeah, so my honks. So I am a dancer. I love to dance. When this game came out in the early aughts and I was a teen, I was like, this is it. This is where it's at. This, I can game now. This is me. And I really loved it. It was super fun. So what I like about it is it really does have really good dance moves. They're easy to pick up. There's a lot of repetition, but they're not boring. And there are dances that can challenge you to, try harder, or you can, if you are a dancer, like you can pay more attention to the dancers on the screen to like get those moves exactly right. If you want to, you're not going to get more points, but it's fun for you. So it's like they give you a wide range where I can play this with my friends who've never danced in their life, but I can also get
That's me.
I can also get stuff out of it. I don't think you've actually played with me, have you?
I have not, no.
So for those of you, I should explain, for those who've never played Just Dance, the idea is, and again, it started on Wii and now it's on Switch. So they always had the motion sensitive controls. You'd hold the controller in your hand and you follow along the dance moves of a character on screen. And then it gives you points based on like how on time you are with the music, if your moves are like in the correct space, that kind of thing. And the PlayStation had a version of this that used like, again, this is way back in the early aughts, but that used a camera. Remember when PlayStation had like a camera thing?
Yeah.
And so that one was like
the Xbox had the Kinect and the PlayStation had the PlayStation camera. Yep.
Yeah. And so I played that one and I remember not liking it as much because it was too picky, I think, where like you had to be in the
a picky game.
Exact right position to like get any points, which I mean, for a video game like where you're dancing in a living room, I just don't feel like that's fun. Not really going to happen. Anyway, so I like that. So you're following along. One of the cool things too is, I don't know if this is really a honk or bonk, but I learned, my friends and I in college looked up, because I danced in college. We were curious as to like, how do they make these like dance moves, these videos? And they're real people. So they're real people wearing like motion tracking. And then, because when you watch it, yeah, they look like cartoons. But they're real dancers. And I think that's just really cool too. And you can like audition to be in Just Dance, which I think is very fun. I also really like that it's super easy setup. This is actually a honk for 2021, especially because you can play with your phone. So you could have, even if you don't have.
So sorry, this is a Switch game.
Yeah.
And you can play with your phone?
Yeah. So if you don't have enough Joy-Cons or controllers for the game, like say you have 4 friends over, but you only have 2 controllers, they can use a QR code and use their phone as the motion tracking.
That's incredible.
Which I think is really awesome. So it really makes it easy for like a party game or something.
It's like Jackbox.
Yeah. So I think that's really fun because that was kind of an issue with the older games before this one. And I don't know when they switched that because I actually hadn't played. I played Just Dance 2 and then I skipped right to 2021. So like,
that's a big jump. That's a lot of time to change.
A lot of time in between.
2,000 years of development.
Well, it's like 10, but, but I don't know. So I'm not sure like, no, that's a lie. I played 4, Just Dance 4, I think in college. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But it was still like that game was very, very similar still to like all the others. It just had added new songs and dances and stuff. But this, I think, has a lot of different features now. What I also like about Just Dance 2021 is you can make playlists. So you can pick your favorite dances that you like and put them in an order. I like making playlists just to listen to. So this is like really fun for me. I think that's really cool.
You make playlists just to listen to in Just Dance?
So you make a dance playlist. So like if I want to dance to like these 4 songs in this order, then I can make that playlist and I can revisit it as many times as I want.
Okay. And then so what you're saying is you like making playlists in real life.
Right. And then
like,
so this
like
kind of
outside of the game and also in the game. Okay. Yes. I misunderstood that. So it went.
Yeah. And then my other honk, and this is for Just Dance as a whole. It always has songs that I don't know and often songs in different languages, which I think is fun because it gives you a way to like learn new music and explore different music. And I think that's cool.
Learn new languages if you listen enough.
Yeah, I guess. I do wish sometimes because they have the lyrics to the song in the bottom corner, but they'll do it in the language that the song's sung in. And sometimes I wish they had a translation option so I could know what they're singing about, but hey. Yeah. So my first bonk started actually with, I think, Just Dance 3 or 4, because 1 and 2 had a lot of like single player options and I was an only child. And so I often just played this at my house by myself, which is fine, like video games. they're for you.
Most video games are designed to be played that way.
But these ones introduced a lot more both duos and quads for like there would be 4 dancers on screen and they're all doing like different parts of the song and dance and different elements. And yeah, you could play by yourself, but it just made you feel kind of lonely.
But you had the people dancing with you right on the screen.
I guess, but it's like expecting you to have friends play with you is what it feels like. And that's still the case today. So I think since after Just Dance 2, they've kind of just assumed this is a party game, I guess, or that there'd be other people playing with you. And I think that's, as an only child, I'm offended by that.
So like your recommendation, I guess, to fix this bonk would be as easy as a menu option, like show only relevant dancers.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
But the thing is, they designed the dances in such a way that wouldn't work. Like so for example, if you have like 4, you might have everyone's like marching in the background. And then each of the 4 dancers has like a 4 count where they do something different. So it wouldn't really make sense to show just one dancer because then you're not even seeing the whole dance. Like they've created a dance that has multiple parts. Like they all do different things.
Okay. So, I guess then the solution would be like,
more solos. That's all I'm saying.
More solos, or make a solo and group version of songs that they're going to make group. Okay. All right.
Or you could even do, so like one of the features is if you, you can unlock dances by reaching certain levels in other dances. Maybe it's like you unlock the group version by completing the solo version. I don't know. Because you can do solo versions with more than 1 people. You just all follow the same dancer. Like that's easy. It's the groups with just 1 person that makes me sad sometimes. Maybe that's just me. The other one, and this is a 2021 specific bonk, is they are desperately trying to do a subscription service. So every time I start the game, it's like, hey, sign up for Just Dance Unlimited. You want to.
You want the unlimited songs.
It's like 2 full screens of that. Plus, they will show you the songs that are only available through the subscription in your like searches and in playlists and like all these things, but like you can't do them unless you pay for the subscription. Now, this wouldn't be terrible because like in theory, it could be really fun. But what I don't understand is they also keep releasing Just Dance. So like, I mean, and this could be something I just need to do more research on, but it's like, if I buy Just Dance 22, did I lose the subscription? Like what's going, like if they wanted to switch it to fully subscription, then then they shouldn't be constantly releasing new games, right? Like the whole point of buying the new game was that you get new dances. So if I can just subscribe to get new dances, then what's the point of buying the new game?
So I have a little bit of background that I think it's Just Dance. So there is at least 1 game line that still consistently releases for the Wii U, I think. Mm-hmm. And that's because the Wii U is pretty popular in retirement homes, like old folks homes, and not foster homes, but like group homes for children, because it was like relatively inexpensive. So games like Just Dance and a couple other games still released for Wii U to support like that kind of situation. And I don't know if that still has like the e-store where you'd be able to download updates, or I'm not sure about that. So even if that's not the case, it might be easier for a lot of these companies or places to just buy a new updated version than go through the rigmarole of downloading individual songs or whatever, or even song packs. It might just be easier.
What you're describing is like kind of what it was before. So earlier you would be like, so like say if I had Just Dance 2, there'd be like there'd be some kind of DLC that you could purchase that adds like 5 songs, say. But that's it. Like and those are specific to Just Dance 2. They're just like, that's their expansion pack basically.
Okay.
But now it's like, I mean, there's literally hundreds, if not thousands of songs I could get. And I'm tempted every time because I'm like, but I love to dance. And I almost feel like they do trick you, because as much as, like I said, I like discovering the new music, it's also like, these aren't the hits of today, if that makes sense. So like
they're a couple years old.
They're a couple years older. They're just too niche for me to recognize them, or it's just not the music I personally listen to. And so you're going to get a couple hits that you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I know that song. And then you're like, I have no idea what any of these are. So you're tempted to buy the other songs because then you have more of a choice. But anyway, so I'm just confused by the subscription process. I've considered it, but then I'm not sure what that means for like future releases of the game. Like, would I, it's just, I don't know. So that's a bonk to me. I think they should pick a lane. I'd be way more into just sticking with the simplicity of like, counting up like Just Dance, now that's what I call music 50, whatever.
Kids Bop 60.
My other bonk, I'm almost done, is
Okay.
it's easy to cheat. So like
You
I
can
remember
cheat.
getting so frustrated with some of my friends because they would literally just sit on the couch and like wave the Wii controller around and just get points.
What? Wait,
Yeah,
hold on. That seems completely antithetical to the clear statement in the title of the game itself.
I know.
Just Dance.
Yeah, but they would do that. And sometimes they would even beat my score if I was actually dancing and they were just like waving the remote around because they can be more
Oh
on the
man.
beat because they're not moving their whole body. So they're like paying closer attention to that part. I'm like, this isn't Guitar Hero. This is Just Dance.
You gotta just dance.
So that's frustrating. I mean, so I guess what I have to say to that is you have to play with the right people who are going to actually
They gotta
embrace
match
the
your
spirit
energy.
of the game. Yes.
Yeah.
And then my final bonk is that in this 2021, I don't understand. There's like a whole reward system. I can like make avatars. I don't know how I use those avatars. Like I do it, but I don't get it. It means nothing to me.
It's a metaverse thing, right?
Yeah, I
Probably.
guess. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
And it's like, am I supposed to talk to other people? And then you can make different dancer cards. And I'm like, is this for the friends I don't have? I don't know. Or
Oh.
do I make multiple ones for me? Like it's meaningless. The rewards are meaningless. I'm like, I don't need that. Just show me my cool high superstar score, and that's fine with me. So yeah. So what about you? What are your honks and bonks today?
For Elden Ring. All right, so Elden Ring. This is kind of the same. This is sort of going to have some of the same honks as if people remember when I honked and bonked Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Legends of Arceus. Still don't know the name. Still have not bothered to actually look at the name. I skip past that title screen so fast. Um, but yeah, so they gave me a horse, not immediately, but pretty early, and thus that is a honk. Thank you for giving me the horse. Like,
We
makes
have a
things
horse
easy.
boy here.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. We got a bonk.
Oh
Horse
wow.
combat, just like Witcher 3. Horse combat feels terrible, awful, absolutely garbage. It's crap. It's better than Witcher 3, but I'm starting to think that they have never figured out how to make horse combat work in video games, and they might never figure that out. So actually, one of these days I'm going to do a pitch sesh for me figuring out horse combat. But
Oh, I
anyways,
like that. Well,
going
so have
back to the
you've
honks.
never played a horse combat that makes sense?
Not off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
Wow.
A lot of games where you have horses in order to combat, like I feel like you often have to dismount. That's
Mhm.
true. It's like if I'm remembering correctly, like Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, when you had a horse, I think you had to dismount to do any form of fighting. I think the same is true of Skyrim. In World of Warcraft, you had to dismount to fight. Uh, Final Fantasy 11 and 14, when you mounted, you had to get down off your horse and slash or mount to fight.
Now in Pokemon Legends of
Pokemon,
Arceus.
you can only fight on Basculegion's back.
Yes, yes, that's your only
So
mount.
I think most people just skip horse fighting because it is garbage. But some games just are like, no, we're gonna do it this time, and so that was a bonk. But all right, going back to honks. I have not directly. I've sort of experienced this from talking to other people. They've planned it out. They've designed it in such a way where you can sort of break sequence and you can still progress. So they have this little golden light that shows you where you're supposed to go. My friends did not follow that golden light. I followed the golden light, and thus I went on one path. And then my other friends played for like 15 to 24 hours.
Oh
And
boy.
I sent a message. I was like, hey, this boss fight, like, am I here too early because it's kind of hard? And they were like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I went the opposite way. And they still got the horse and they still got a couple other things. And actually, I found out that I broke the sequence despite following the golden light pretty exactly. I broke the sequence and I was still obviously able to progress, but I missed some key things, which that is a bonk I'll get to. But anyways, the fact that there are multiple valid paths for how you can do things, uh, I mean that's like a staple of the open world genre, and this is a pretty open world game. Like if you are struggling in one area, you can just go back to a complete you can go to a completely different area and see if that's more fun for you, more your speed, etc. Which brings me to my next honk. Fast travel is unlocked right away. I was expecting to have to fast travel only at basically save points. And like in that menu, fast travel would be an option. And because it wasn't an option, I was like, oh, okay, I'll unlock fast travel later. And then at one point, I was just looking at my map and I noticed that I could fast travel to any of these save points just right away. And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. I don't even need to get a Lord vessel or anything. I can do this. That's incredible. I
Wow.
visit a point and I can just go there whenever I want. Speaking of the saving points, they feel pretty well placed, except for, so I went to this castle and I spent a super long time there doing all this intricate ceiling or not ceiling, roof jumping. And you know me and heights.
Oh
This
yeah.
was actually terrible for me. And if you were here, you would notice how like stressed I was just from all the looking down and like tight walking and stuff that I had to do, like single planks over infinite abysses of fog on castle walls that are a mile high and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So I do that like 30 to 45 minutes and I could not find another save point. But besides that scenario, every other save point, I've been surprised at how frequent they are, but
And
they feel pretty well placed.
I would say that if you were that nervous playing the game on your computer, mind you, like this isn't even on a big screen, that that's a honk too for the game design if it can make you feel that immersed.
That's true. Yeah, one thing that the Dark Souls director loves, because every Dark Souls game has enormous architecture, just this enormous grand scale that makes you feel so tiny and insignificant and small. There's jumping in this game. You can jump.
Is that a honk or a bonk?
That's a honk. Which I mean, this probably shouldn't be anything because it's just standard for open worlds at this point. Like if you had an open world game without jumping, I probably wouldn't be great. But when I'm comparing this to Dark Souls before it, you can't jump. And I don't know, just something about having the option to jump around. I love to
Jump,
jump.
jump
Yeah.
around.
It's nice, although not you can't break the game as much with jumping against geometry as you can in Pokemon Legends. Sad. They've actually implemented the level geometry a little better. Oh well. My next honk is the tutorial zone is optional. So if you've played games like this before, you don't have to learn about how to backstab, how to parry, how to do basic combat with crappy zombies. It's actually, you start the game, you do a little area, and then it drops you into a place. There's a ghost sitting on a chair, and he says, "Jump into the pit, learn your skills." And you're like, okay, dope. I don't know what that means. So I jumped down in there and I found out that that was the tutorial zone, but I could have easily just walked past it, which is a honk because a lot of people probably don't need to or want to do the tutorial. So another honk, they're sneaking. And I will be honest, I don't remember if this was ever in any previous Souls-like game, Dark Souls or Bloodborne or any of those, but it feels new to me and I'm having a wild fun time sneaking around, backstabbing zombies. It's great. Having fun with that. Uh, final honk. Final honk. You get more potions when you beat a group of enemies. So you can this increases your endurance, your fatigue in the field. So like there's a patrol of 4 zombies. You kill them, you use a potion afterwards, and you get a potion back because you defeated a group of enemies. Whereas in previous games, you'd have a set amount of potions, and the only way to restore that is to go to a save point. And when you go to a save point, it resets all the enemies. So like if you killed a group of skeletons, you would use all your potions, and then you'd be like, oh, I can't continue any further. Then you'd go back to the save point, get your potions back, and then you'd have to fight that same group of skeletons. And it was kind of like, okay, until you figure out how to beat that group of skeletons without using any potions, you can't really progress. So I like that they are kind of, they don't give you full restoration of like all your potions. So like if you use 3 potions to do a fight, it'll only give you 1 back. So it's not like just infinite running forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's solid. It's a nice little thing that makes you feel like you're more capable of expanding your explorations. And
Nice.
so on to the bonks. Oh, did you have a question?
No,
Oh, okay. It
I
sounded
was
like you were
saying
going for something.
no. I was saying nice.
Oh, okay. All right. So the bonks. All right. There is a area very early on where you meet a merchant and a smith, and they sell you a crafting kit, and they teach you how to upgrade weapons and stuff. That the golden light was apparently guiding me towards, but I missed it, and I got to the next point, and the golden light forgot that that first point existed. So I got to like the first boss of the game without any upgrades or crafting ability or anything,
Oh
and that's kind of what
no.
made it hard. Like I was just following the golden lights. Apparently, I missed one thing, and I would have expected the golden lights to be like, "Hey, no, 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 go back around." So when I was saying, "Oh, I can't beat this guy," blah blah blah, one of my friends was like, "Oh, well, it was pretty easy when I got like a +2 weapon." I was like, "I have not found any weapon upgrades yet," and he was like, "It's literally like the first place that you go. Like once you get out of the tutorial cave, it's like the first place you go." And I was like, I did not find that. I am following the golden light. It did not take me to it. So the fact that you have the golden light, but it still lets you skip things is a little weird. I'm going to give that a bonk. Uh, the game has input queuing, which I find super annoying. And what I mean by that is this game is very, this and similar games before it are really the input is very important. When you make an attack, there is very few ways for you to like cancel that attack. Your character is now dedicated to making this entire attack. Or if you dodge, you're dedicated to making the entire dodge. And there's like a number of frames, like gameplay frames, where these actions take. And part of the skill / mastering of the game is realizing, okay, I have 60 frames to act right now, so I'm going to do a sword attack and then dodge out. Then when the enemy hits like the ground, I will be in my dodge frames and it'll save me. But this game has input queuing. I don't know if this has been in any previous ones. If it has, I haven't noticed it before, but I'm often in a situation where like I'll be attacking, an enemy will start attacking, and I will, even though I know that I can't do it, I'm just instinctively like, oh, dodge button, let's get out of there. But because I'm in the middle of an attack, I can't dodge right away. And then I'm like, okay, well, that dodge didn't work. So let me continue my combo now that their attack is over. But then my attack happens, and then I dodge away. And then I'll be attacking mid-air because it queued the inputs that I put in. So it'll be like, oh, he wanted to dodge when he couldn't dodge. So I'm going to make him dodge at the first available opportunity, where the situation has changed enough where I don't want to do that anymore. And that is for how sensitive this game is, how like not frame perfect, but like frame reliant the combat is, and how focused on combat it is. That is super annoying to me. And so I'm going to take a moment to say, all you Elden Ring heads and Dark Souls heads out there who are going to at me and tell me that this has always been here and I just need to learn to play. I am fully aware that I need to learn to play, and I am a scrub and a baby. So this could have been here the entire time, and I don't know how I ever missed it. But this, I'm just finding this annoying. It's it's a bonk. So the next bonk is there's a lot of zombies in this game, or if they're not zombies, they're like withered, like dead corpse looking things that are walking around. And there's a lot of really pathetic ones in like peasant rags and they're digging around in the dirt and stuff. And when you kill one of them, they all kind of start running away and like crouching in fear. And it it makes me feel really bad. I'm supposed to be killing like mindless zombies that are just aimlessly attacking me like idiots because I am the chosen one. I am the super powerful guy. I am the Elden ringer or whatever. Uh, I don't want to be fighting like sapient peasants that are just doing whatever. Like they seem almost enslaved, but like they give me runes, which I use to upgrade my levels. And sometimes they do attack me, but most of the time they like run away as soon as I kill one of them. And I feel so bad. And then there's animals that
Oh
you
yeah,
kill for crafting supplies.
you were
And I
telling
don't
me
want
about
to I
that.
don't want to shoot a bird that isn't attacking me. I don't want to just run into a field and kill 17 sheep. No, I'm supposed to be the good guy. No, I don't think you're ever a good guy in these kinds of games because like you are eating, stealing, you are killing things mercilessly to gain souls or runes or experience or whatever to level up. But this just makes me feel needlessly cruel. I don't like it.
They need
And
The Pokemon design of like, no, 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 they just fainted.
yeah, yeah.
It's fine.
So I've started to avoid like groups of enemies, which I think are going to do this. And yeah, uh, I guess that in the same sense as like the height thing was a honk. Like, hey, the fact that this game is making me feel this way, that's well designed. They designed these pathetic peasant zombies well to make me empathic towards them, sympathetic towards them. I don't know what the difference between empathy and sympathy is. But anyways, moving on. Final bonk. I mentioned sneaking and backstabbing earlier. I think that the backstab range and the weapon range are not the same. I think so. I started as the samurai class, and they start with a weapon called the Uchi Katana, which seems to have a longer range than the average melee sword weapon. And I got in several situations where I would be like directly behind an enemy that has not noticed me, and I would attack them, and the attack would hit, but it wouldn't trigger backstab animation. So like when you backstab an enemy, you get a special animation, and it does a ton of bonus damage. And like if I get to the point where I'm actually touching the enemy model, like backstab goes off 100% of the time. But if I'm like at my attack range, it won't go off. So I think that the backstab range and the weapon range are not linked together, which I think
Mhm.
is a bonk because if I'm used to a certain attack range, I would expect that attack range to also be my backstab range. And in certain situations, that can get you in a lot of trouble. Like when you backstab a super powerful enemy to start a fight off on the right foot, but it ends up just being a normal attack that doesn't do a ton of damage. And then the enemy turns around and does a 17 attack combo. It doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel like I messed up there. I mean, technically, I am the one who messed up, but it doesn't feel that way because it's like I know my weapon's distance. I know how long my sword is. That attack hit, therefore it should have been a backstab. That might be a nitpick, but that's my bonk. Actually, one more bonk. This the 17 attack combos. It seems like the every enemy in this game is just relentlessly doing attack chains of like four or more attacks in a row, and it doesn't feel like you have an opening. And I found during one boss fight where like he was literally doing 7 or 8 attacks in a row where I just had to dodge like an idiot the entire time. But I found out that like after his third attack, he has a super long wind up where if I do my strongest attack, it staggers him slightly. It interrupts his combo. but then I have to immediately dodge away because he starts the combo from the beginning again, and I don't have time in those first like 3 attacks to do anything except for dodge. So it was a lot of dodge, 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 big attack, dodge, 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 big attack, dodge, 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 big attack, and it became mindless and repetitive. And I found that a lot of enemies, their difficulty seems to be in that they are just fatiguing you by attacking so often, so much, with little opening for you to go in. So that's kind of annoying, but that's me being a scrub. That's me being a big whiny baby.
I don't know. This game does not sound like something I would play based on a lot of that. So based on the fact that
it's not for the faint of heart. Elden Ring, not for the faint of heart. They almost thrive in making their games kind of obnoxious.
Awesome. All right.
But anyways, that's my honks and bonks.
Wow.
You come up with any game ideas?
Barely.
Barely. Oh, I like the sound of that. Hey,
yeah. So
we're in the meat and potatoes of the podcast, and we're barely.
Hey, who knows what the meat and potatoes really is? I think that's up to the listeners to decide.
That's
listeners,
true.
Send us what you think our meat and potatoes are. We'd love to know. We'd love to know. Yeah. So I was kind of struggling because I feel like a lot of my game ideas are like taking regular tasks that we do in day-to-day lives and being like, how it's a game now, like brush your teeth, the game. I don't know. So I was like, I want to think different. I want to be in a different world. I didn't quite get there. And then, yeah, I just not super inspired this week, but I did come up with something ish. It's a vibe more than anything else.
Okay. We can work with vibes.
We're going to work with a vibe. So the working title is Microland.
Ooh, we are supposed to come up with titles. Hold on. You keep talking. I will focus on something real quick.
Okay. And then, so the idea of Microland is that you are incredibly tiny, microscopic, one might say. And I don't want this. This is not like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids tiny. Like we're not walking around a giant blade of grass. Like, no, like this is microscopic scale to the point where it looks like outer space, but it's not. It's micro time.
Okay.
Which was an idea that always fascinated me growing up and thinking about science, in the sense that like macro scale, like planets and things like that, like feel very similar to micro scale, although those are also the two things that prevent a lot of physics from working. So like when you try to create a physics principle or proposing a physical theory, it has to be able to be replicated on all scales basically. And then the macro science, like outer space scale, is often the one where it like falls apart. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's the micro scale, like photons. What's a photon anyway, right?
Well, it's a mass and wave.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's a particle and a wave.
It changes when observed. Like
I only know that from Ghostbusters.
Good.
Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon.
Good.
They had an argument about it.
I mean, to be fair, I think I know a lot of that from Magic School Bus. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're on the same page here. But I don't really know like what you're doing on the micro scale. But I think the cool thing, like what I want it to be, I mean, it would be called Microland. So you kind of get the idea of what it is, but that you don't actually know like where you're exploring. Like, are you inside a drawer? Are you on a toothbrush?
Okay, wait, do you ever find out?
I think so. I think like once you beat the level, it would like zoom out and you're like, oh, it was the sink. I don't know.
Well, okay. So like on a microscopic level, I'm not sure how like if the blades of grass aren't enormous, right? How would you know that you're in the lawn if it's just you happen to be on a big
until you beat the level and then it would zoom out.
Okay.
It wouldn't be green. That's not what it looks like. It literally would be completely nebulous. You would not know. But there would be different like microbes and like situations and cells and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I want it to be, so as far as like the play style, it'd be kind of like floaty. And I don't know how else to describe it, but like you're not on solid ground. You're like floating. You're like floating through. Like I said, it's a vibe.
Through the ether. Okay.
Yeah, like on my notes it says floaty/puffy. Do
you look like a person or are you like an amoeba?
I think you look like a person in
or
a,
an
a little.
energy.
I think you look like a person in a little spacesuit.
Okay, so this is Ant-Man in quantum
No,
space. Well, have you seen Ant-Man?
no. So maybe
Oh,
it is
okay.
Ant-Man. I don't know.
So he's a little man in a little suit and he goes in the quantum level or he gets really tiny and it's like it looks like honestly it looks kind of like space. We'll have to
But
look
he's
up some
not. Yeah,
scenes for it.
because I was gonna say because when I see trailers for Ant-Man, he's not small enough for what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think the thing is he's not supposed to go this small
Okay, so that was like
because it takes you
a
into
specific scene,
yeah.
specific
So
instance.
we'll look
Okay,
it up after this and you'll be
yeah,
like, "Oh, that's Micro World."
yeah.
And
So
maybe that'll
that's.
give
I
you
guess that's
inspiration.
it. I know it's not the most fleshed out. Like I came to the table last time with like a whole game that you're like, we could build this tomorrow, and now I'm like floating around the microsphere, just hanging with some amoebas. That's the game. I mean, maybe so. So I was thinking like there's got to be like each level is a different location. And part of the fun is like, oh my gosh, that's where we were. And I want it to be based kind of in reality. So like actual microbes and things that would exist at that level in like a lawn or a sink or whatever. And so if you know your science, you probably could start to guess, but you might not. But like most likely you wouldn't. And then I don't know if you're like classify, like maybe it's Pokemon style, you have to like classify these, or you're battling them, or it's just a maze. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. But it's floaty.
There's a lot of openness to this vibe,
Yeah.
but it's floaty.
It's
Okay.
definitely floaty. That's all I can say.
Okay.
I also like the idea of an energy. Like you could be kind of like this little like maybe you yourself are just a little micron bit
I mean,
bopping around.
this could be just like a cozy game all about exploration with like maybe even no goal. Like you just kind of move around and you can
Well,
witness scenes of micro world.
no, I mean I want there to be some goal. I don't think games are fun if like I don't know. I've never played a game with literally no goal. Like the closest I've come is Animal Crossing, and that you still can like do there's still stuff to do. Like
Okay.
just
Yeah.
like bouncing on a microbe. Like I think I could play that for maybe 2 minutes and I'd be like, all right.
Fair, fair.
Like there's got to be some kind of like quest or something. Like again, whether that's classifying things or maybe you have to find like one of these little guys just doesn't belong. You're like resetting the ecosystem. That could be fun. Yeah, it's definitely a cozy game. I just don't know the specifics, but that's Microland. There you go. I did it.
All right. Well, then I'll propose my pitch to
Yes.
you.
With the name you definitely didn't just come up with.
I definitely did not just come up with a name because I have no name for this game. I did not. I did all that time. I did not come up with anything. So I'm going to leave that up to you. And if you can't come up with anything, it's up to the listeners. So here's my idea. It's a town building puzzle game. I know. Isaac, you talk about town builders all the time. Colony Sims. This is that all you do? Yes. Open world games and colony sims / city builders, apparently. So what it is, all right. So every level, every map starts with your 4 walls, and you have a gate and an exit, like an entrance gate and one or more exits. So you design the roads that have to like you cannot break out of the walls of your town, obviously. And then you place a bunch of buildings. And then the level starts. You when you're satisfied, you press the level start button, and your goal is to get a certain number of people to move into your town. So they'll start at the entrance gate and they'll walk along the roads. They'll walk straight forward. They won't loop back around or anything. And if they see stuff that they like, they get a little happiness meter. And when their meter goes up high enough, they will move into the first house that they find along the path. So your goal is to place things that are appealing for a wide variety of people and houses for them to live in. And you have to have this road so that there's no dead ends because they'll get angry if they get lost in your town.
I will say, I think that this poses quite a little bit of an issue where like you would have to build all the houses in the back because if they don't like if they move into the first house they see, once their meter is high enough, then they have to see enough things they like before they want to move in. And then those houses in the back are going to fill up really fast. And then there won't be houses for the other people if they can't loop back around.
And therein lies kind of the challenge.
Kind of do it like, how big is this city? Do you imagine? Like, how many houses would you have?
So it depends on the level. So like I imagine an early level would be like a 6x6 grid within the walls, and it has one entrance and one exit.
Okay, but like how many houses would you fit in that? Like how many people would you house?
Let's say that the goal, let's now we're designing specific levels within this game idea. Okay, so the goal is you get 4 people to move in.
Oh, that's really small. That's not
well, let's see. So actually, let's see. That would be 36 tiles, and off the top of my head, I don't know like the optimal road path that you'd be able to do, because not all of those tiles would be reachable most likely.
So I like this. I think the way to fix it is just to have it be like you said, there shouldn't be dead ends. Like they should be able to like continue to explore your town.
So the dead end, I feel like, would be a risk reward situation where like you put all your houses at your dead end, so that when villagers, like if you have a dead end, that's where all the houses are. So if villagers get to that point, they're either ready to move in and they will move in, or they'll get angry no matter what. They won't like your town no matter what. So it's like maybe angry villagers give you a minus tier score, but like, hey, maybe you can pull it off. But the idea is anyone who doesn't want to move into your town leaves the town. They just leave through the exit gate. And the idea of it only like of them only moving forward and not like looping back around. And maybe one thing that I didn't think about a whole lot, even though I knew it was going to be a problem, and this is the best way to design things, people. You just go straight forward. You don't do cardboard prototypes. You don't give it any thought until you implement it. I'm giving such bad advice right now. Don't listen to my advice.
People make cardboard templates for video games?
Yeah, actually, Nintendo is pretty famous.
Oh, that's cool.
For a lot of their designers doing cardboard prototypes. Like
maybe we should do a bonus episode where you just walk me through like the process of game design.
That would be good content. But yeah,
like content.
I think the Switch was sort of famously, I think it was either the Switch or the Wii U, to get the feeling of like holding the controller right. They literally cut out and drew on a piece of cardboard, like this is where the buttons are, and like hold it and see if you like pressing the various buttons.
Well, I mean, that's I thought you meant like designing within a game.
What do you mean? Oh, like, well, there's also that, like where
like they made like a model of like Mario or something.
Yeah, there's also that style of thing, and like that's a way that you would be able to do, especially a simple puzzle game like I'm describing with this town building aspect. Cut out a bunch of little cardboard chits and like just plan a level. All right, so hey, rapid fire round. Woo, we're doing the rapid fire round.
No.
Ooh, let's get some words going.
No, I want to hear the rest of your game. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that was it. No,
that's it. Okay.
I don't even have a name, so
okay. I'm gonna call it City Planning is My Passion.
Okay, City Planning is My Passion. The game, the movie.
Well, okay, though I did have one question, because as I was talking about like, oh, public transit, blah, blah, blah. Then I realized this is like a walled city, so it's probably not taking place in modern times. So when does your game take place?
This is 1216.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that, I think in that case, it makes
AD.
More sense, because they're always going to be walking. So there's not going to be a long distance between like the different town districts. And like, I was just thinking like modern day, like.
Oh no, God, no. I hate the modern day.
Yeah, because most of my games are set in the modern day. Most of yours are not. And I have to remember like, oh no, this doesn't take place right now. So that makes more sense. So I think the mechanic is really interesting. It reminds me a little bit of parts of like the Sims and like tycoon games, or like in the Sims they have like environment scores, so if they're happy with the decor in their house they get like boosted mood. But I like how the stakes are higher in this, so I did want to say that like it's a cool game. Like I would definitely try it.
Nice.
So let's move on to the rapid fire round.
We haven't introduced any of our bits, our segments this episode, so I'm gonna
We did
point.
honks and bonks.
Yeah, did we point? Did we
Yeah.
explain what a honk and what a bonk was?
Hey, it's episode 5. If they don't know by now.
But what about the first time listener who's like, wow, episode 5? Okay. All right. Rapid fire round. We're going to generate 3 words. We're going to come up with a title. We're going to come up with a game idea.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Isn't there? I thought there was a third requirement.
Well, if someone had their show outline open, then they would see the 3 bullet points, which is a featured mechanic, title, and main character.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, main character. We haven't been doing that one mostly.
Well,
probably
you'll see. I mean, yeah, I feel like we kind of you have to, right? Because it's who you play as, basically. How you play, I think, is how I think of it.
Okay. All right. Not
but yeah,
every
we
game
haven't been
has
doing
a
that. I
main
usually,
character, but
well, that's why I don't say it usually because I feel like it's not applicable all the time.
Yeah. Anyways, let me
But
know
I
when
did-
you've got 3 words. I'll set a timer for 5 minutes. That's another part of the rules, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, 3 words achieved. This is good. I like. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
Range, victory, reflect.
Oh,
The last one that gets me because range, victory, you're like, okay, yeah, and then like reflect.
no, but so you have Queen Zenobia's tower, which is
Where did you get that name?
because this is from Greek. This is the Greeks.
Okay.
She had a tower with a mirror in it that would focus light from the sun and burn enemy ships. So you would use mirrors and reflections, and you would guide laser beams to achieve victory.
Okay, I mean, I like it. I was gonna go with more like the introspective version of reflect. Like
I
you have to
That would be interesting.
you're fighting, kind of like you're talking about with your game, where like you're fighting things, then you have to like confront that.
You have to confront that these are just like wretched peasants being enslaved by a higher power.
But I mean, honestly, I like your game idea a lot with like the mirrors. It reminds me too the there's a Keats poem. I've been having a lot of trouble remembering things lately.
Need more sleep and potassium.
Does potassium help with that?
I have no idea, but I like to offer potassium as a solution. Oh, we are burning time on this potassium.
I know. The Keats poem. Oh, the Lady of Shalott. So she looks into a mirror and it's something about Camelot. So I don't know. We could pull that in a little too.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the game's name is Zenobia Shalott.
Okay. And yeah, and you're just like attacking and maybe if you like look the enemy is directly in that then like you just die.
Or maybe the enemies like aren't in a position where you can attack them directly. So you set up the mirrors.
Yeah.
You use the mirrors to zap them down.
Yeah, but I think there should be like you can't directly zap them.
Yeah.
Or
yes.
it's bad.
I agree.
Okay. So all right, so we need to name it. Looking glass. Laser glass. Or did you just name it? Zenobia Shalott.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no one would play that game. So
we could call it Defense of Zenobia. Yeah.
Defense of Zenobia. All right.
All
done.
right.
Clock it. All right.
Okay.
Next
We
word.
have 2 minutes left. Boom. We're nailing it.
Amazing. All right. Ready for the next words?
Yes.
Ooh. I don't know about this one. Courtship. Fur.
Okay. Furry dating sim.
Consumption.
Furry capitalist dating game. Okay. All right.
No, I don't want that. Maybe it could be like
You're Canadian. What's that?
We could lean into consumption being like tuberculosis.
Oh. Okay. So this actually kind of goes into
This is actually related. Go ahead.
You are a Canadian fur trapper.
Okay.
In the 1800s.
Consumption was there then. So you have to find someone to move to the Mediterranean with you before you die. That's the courtship
Is
part.
that the cure of consumption?
A lot of people who had the money or like had families with enough money would send them to like warmer climates. Yeah.
Okay.
Often was the Mediterranean. Because like just the dry, like cold climates were not good for you're breathing.
Okay, so
And I know this because I was saying this is also relevant because John Keats had it. That's what he died of. I was like,
boy,
this is just a Keats heavy pitch sesh, and I'm loving it.
we love it. We rapid fire pitch sesh was the previous segment, please. But
rapid fire.
All right, so you are a fur trapper in Canada in the 1800s.
Yes.
You have consumption?
You have just been diagnosed with consumption, but you also want to court someone to come with you so you can leave the cold Canada air.
Or you need so you need to get enough money to pay a dowry to
that's
marry
not romantic.
A rich woman.
But okay. Yeah, so that you can
who has the money to bring you to the Mediterranean.
Okay, sure.
But it can. Well, that's just how things were done. Like, no,
I
the
know.
characters are obviously actually in love, but the father won't allow it unless he gets his dowry because
and then you've got the ticking clock of like you're coughing up blood all the time, and so good.
Boom.
I mean,
all right.
So what do we name this?
Consuming love.
Okay. Yep. I can't argue with that.
All right. Boom. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Woo. All right. Last one of the day.
All right. Let's see where we go with this one. Let's see how Keats is involved here.
I don't know. We'll see. All right. Here we go. No, he's not. Install.
Okay.
Dismissal.
Okay.
Landscape.
Okay. This is installing Windows.
That's what I was gonna say, because landscape, because I pictured those like
the windows.
Yeah. The classic landscape. Okay.
The green field. Yeah. Okay. Boom. All right.
Well, no, but it needs to be a game, right? Is it just a sim that like it's like installing Windows like 95? Like that? What is it?
Yes. No.
We're missing a word in the middle too.
Okay, wait. So what were
I don't know. I already closed it because it takes up too much power. I can't hear you when it's on. For some reason, the website makes your audio choppy, but it was install and then something else. And we'll have to play back the tape.
Oh, geez. Oh, no. Hold on. How are we going to? Okay. So it was install, dismissal.
Yeah, dismissal.
And landscape.
Yeah.
So the dismissal is you dismiss prompts.
Okay.
Like error messages. I don't think we can make a game out of installing an operating system. Yeah.
I don't know. I like it though, because those are both of our initial reactions. Like, that's the one. Well, maybe so maybe it is. Maybe what if it's like a customer service? Like people just don't understand how computers work, and so you have to like walk them through.
So I think that there's something that could be said where, like, yes, a customer brings in a computer that they want Windows installed on, but they can't figure it out. And like each computer is an interesting problem. So like I've had to install Windows on to a computer that did not have a CD drive, for example, which, I mean, that's pretty common these days. But at the time, I had never even thought about how that would work. And obviously, like, the solution is a USB drive, but like that,
and maybe it could be, I'm thinking like even like sillier things too. Like,
I was definitely thinking peanut butter.
Yeah. I was like,
the motherboard.
There's ham in the CD drive, or like something ridiculous, like silly things. So like I think we did it.
Step one. Oh, okay. Boom.
No, go ahead. Step one, what?
Oh, I was gonna say step one is like turn on the computer.
Yeah.
Which, depending on the customer, they might not bring like the power cord. So you have to like find it in your little customer service shop, your little technical assistance shop.
For some reason, I imagine this could be really fun as VR. Like you have to
it's definitely a VR game.
Okay.
You have to actually physically
like open
with
things,
your hand,
look at it. Yeah.
Just throw things all around your little computer shop. Find your thumb drive that has Windows installed on it. Run through the update process.
I was gonna say you'll have to decide which you have to know which version of Windows to install.
Oh yeah.
All right. What are we calling this? I think we're at that point.
Well, I mean, this would just be IT sim. IT
I was
guy
thinking,
simulator.
I was thinking something more fun, like Bill Gateway.
Okay. Yes. Vote yes on Bill Gateway.
All right, Bill Gateway.
With a minute and 30 seconds to spare, folks, we are killing it today.
Amazing. Well, this was great. I think we did really well on everything. I think this was an excellent episode.
Excellent. We had nothing.
I was going to say there was
eggs
nothing about eggs in anything
episode.
We talked about.
But so I went for it, folks.
You went for it. All right.
There.
So again, our social media, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Make That Game Pod. Give us a follow. You can
tweet
also
at me. Be angry at how much of a baby I am when it comes to Elden Ring.
Yep. And then you can also send us your game ideas, games you think we should try, your own honks and bonks, maybe of games we've talked about at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. And thanks for listening. And if you really liked one of the games you heard about today, feel free to go ahead and
make that game.